let's try to make our first code. So coding for the first times, you must always have in mind that you have to be concentrated on a text that will be coded, that will receive some code. So for example here, the first case, you have some details of what the respondents say. First of all, this was the question of research, and this is a case of question addressed in a LinkedIn session, so it's always possible to make some research on LinkedIn. That's what is called ethnography. And here, in that case, we can consider that we have a proper witness from a person considering the answer of the question. So here, we read carefully the text and try to find some ideas that can serve our research question. Here, for example, there is the question of book reader. So maybe what we can do is to select this part of the text, and we'd like to make a codification. We can use, for example, this green pencil, and you can also change the window so that you can have a look to the rest of the text. And for example, here, this is a question of a book, so maybe we can use the name book, the same label, and we will place it under a category. So this is the code and this is the category. And the category, for example, would be recipe. Something large that can be changed afterwards. And so we just put OK. We can also have a color, or maybe we can keep this color or have another color. Okay, so this is our first code. What can we see on the margin here? The red color for book. So this means all this part has been coded as book. And here we have the code book. We can, for example, switch from this. This is not so important. Here we will work on the code book. And here we have a first code with the category, the main category. And we can go on. In the second sentence, what is important is the term meditation. So maybe we can take all this and we will say, well, this is something to do with meditation. We can put it under recipe. We say, okay, so we have the second code here. Of course, we can have many codes for the same segment of text. Once again, this is question of meditation. So what we can do is either to drag and drop here, and so we have here meditation not only to this segment but also for this segment of text. We can go again, meditation. We can just double click, but always remember that you have first of all to select the text that will receive the code, otherwise the system doesn't know for you. Well, here this question of the oneness, or something quite different, oneness. So even what you can do sometimes is to select and to make a copy with a right click copy, and so if you decide to make another code, you can make oneness here. And you say, is it a recipe? And sometimes you can ask yourself about the category which would be the most suitable. Here, something about self-development, maybe. imagine other possibilities. So this was all the coding schemes for the first respondent. Maybe we can go to the second here. To the second, there's also the idea of meditation here, so we can here just put meditation. And once again, we have books here. So books again, but here another idea, classes. So classes, made a copy here. And so we have classes here as well, etc. So progressively we develop a code book by reading different things, and we can also rearrange. Sometimes if we decide that oneness should be developed in the order, it's very easy. You take it and you shift it this way. So it's very easy then to develop